Hey y'all, hey. So if you caught my live earlier, like 30 minutes ago when I was in the kitchen making me tea, adding a little bit of cayenne pepper to it, and I was crunching up my cayenne pepper seeds to make cayenne pepper powder and red crushed pepper, then this is for you. And even if you didn't, this is for you. So I'm, coming back doing some more of my meditations and affirmations and whatnot. And then I was like, all right. So I got a little bookcase. This phone is sitting up against a bookcase. So I said, oh, let me read one of these herbs because I want to, as the new year come and the rest of my life progresses, I really want to get back into growing herbs, but knowing about them. And especially because I talk about plant-based foods and healing and things like that, it would just behoove me to study. We say you want a thing, you got to get to studying. And why the first page I opened up to, I just was breezing through. The first page was cayenne. So I said, okay, this must be divine. I just did a video with y'all chopping up my cayenne peppers that I grew and dehydrated and making powder out of them. So I'm going to read this little excerpt about cayenne so we can learn together, okay? All right. So cayenne, capsicum, and these herbal days be something else. Okay, so the spicy cuisines of Mexico, Southeast Asia, China, Southern Italy, many Caribbean islands. Oh, and before I get into it, this is from a book called Guide to Medical Herbs, National Geographic Guide to Medical Herbs. You can Google this. It's on Amazon. I got it out of Barnes & Noble, I think, a while ago. And I don't even be in Barnes & Noble. I was working with special needs at the time. And so this particular client liked to go to the bookstore. And so I seen this and got it for a good deal. So anyways, back to the book. So the spicy cuisines of Mexico, Southeast Asia. And yeah, hold on, y'all. I got ADHD like a bug. This is why I was trying to come meditate. But the book, it really breaks down, I think, not just the plant. Okay, no, it gives like 2 pages of information on the plant. I have another book that breaks down like uses, like whether it be, beauty products, whatever. But this one just kind of gives plant facts. All right, let's get back to it. The spicy cuisines of Mexico, Southeast Asia, China, Southern Italy, many Caribbean islands, and North America's Cajun culture share an ingredient: hot pepper. Not the tiny black peppercorns ground in pepper mills, but the fleshy fruits borne by plants belonging to the genus capsicum. More than 1,000 different varieties of capsicum are grown worldwide. They produce colorful fruits that vary considerably, not only in color, size, and shape, but in the intensity of their heat. That heat comes from a plant chemical called capsaicin, which, in addition to adding zest to food, has pain-relieving properties. Cayenne peppers, native to Central and South America, were being cultivated in these regions more than 9,000 years ago. Not until the 15th century was cayenne introduced to the rest of the world. Cayenne seeds were first brought to Europe following Columbus's voyage to let me back up, because I just felt like I was reading a lie. I don't give a shit about what they say Columbus did, discovered, what he brought, because it probably ain't damn true. Cayenne seeds were first brought to Europe following Columbus's voyage of 1492. Vasco da Gama is credited with introducing capsicum into Africa and India. Cayenne has been used for millennia to dull pain and increase circulation. Okay. The Maya used it to treat infections, the Aztec to quiet throbbing toothaches. Cayenne has also been used in traditional Ayurvedic, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean medicines as a topical for arthritis and muscle pain, and as an oral remedy for circulatory and digestive problems. Wow. Applied to the skin, cayenne is thought to desensitize nerve endings. In modern herbal medicine, cayenne is added to lotions and salves to relieve the pain of osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, shingles, and fibromyalgia-related joint or muscle pain, and to reduce itching and inflammation associated with psoriasis. Okay, cayenne. Concentrated capsaicin creams, often available only with prescription, are sometimes used for post-surgical pain and certain types of neuropathy. Taken internally, cayenne may reduce blood cholesterol, all right, and triglyceride levels, relieve cluster headaches, improve circulation, relieve heartburn, stimulate stomach lining cells to secrete substances that prevent ulcers. Wow. And help regulate blood sugar levels by affecting the breakdown of carbohydrates after a meal. I said wow because I was just having dinner with my aunt and her boo for her birthday not too long ago, and my brother wanted to get like this spicy soup. When he eating it, he's like, "Oh, it ain't spicy enough," or like he wasn't complaining about it, but they asked him, "Is it spicy?" And he was like, "Oh, I tasted it. That shit was spicy as hell." But my brother liked to eat all that red dye 40 shit, all them flaming hot this and that, and all them chips and shit. So my boyfriend was like, "You better slow down. Eating all that hot food, you gonna mess around and get an ulcer like I did." And have acid reflux. And it's interesting that it says, Cayenne that's red dye 40, whatever the hell that is, that people are eating for the spice. So I wonder if they substituted that with what is naturally spicy. It says that when taken internally, cayenne may reduce blood cholesterol, blah, blah, improve circulation, and then it says stimulate stomach lining cells to secrete substances that prevent ulcers. I find that interesting. You eat the red dye 40, the stuff that ain't good for it, that could cause you to get a ulcer, because you eating all this crazy spicy stuff that ain't natural. But if you eat the natural spice that is spicy, it actually stimulates your stomach lining to secrete substances that'll prevent the ulcer, because it knows the shit hot, but your body know how to get rid of it too. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's move along. Oh, all right, Thigh. Don't get the people too much. Okay, so at the bottom, it gives us some time stamps of some stuff. So it says the flaming hues of cayenne peppers hint at their heat, exploited by herbalists for centuries to ease pain. So we got 5,000 BC. Peppers are cultivated by indigenous tribes in Central and South America. By 1493 AD, cayenne's arrival in Italy is documented after Columbus's voyage to the New World. Mid-1700s, botanist Carlos Linnaeus names the genus Capsicum, identifying 2 species. And then in 1912, the Scoville scale, which is the scale on which they rate the heat of a pepper, the Scoville scale, developed for measuring the hotness of cayenne and other peppers. Oh, that's when it was developed in 1912. Okay, get into this cayenne pepper picture. I love me some cayenne. All right, moving along. So when Christopher Columbus arrived on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola in 1492, he was in search of the Far East Spice Islands, and in particular black pepper. Instead, he found red peppers. Though Christopher just couldn't get it right, could he? He going everywhere thinking something is something it ain't. Though capsicum has been grown in the Americas for some 9,500 years, scientists are only beginning to understand its astounding genetic diversity. The genus is represented by at least 10 tropical American species, 5 of which are cultivated today. Excuse me. Some 1,700 varieties of capsicum are known. That's a lot of okay, so think of it like this. He always messing up. Okay, Columbus, I'm tired of y'all don't gotta mention him no more for real. The interesting thing, okay, I'm trying to break this down. I was gonna try to do an analogy which I don't feel like would fit this. When they talk about different genuses, the genuses representing the varieties, so it's 1,700 varieties. So it's I was gonna use the example of like, your mama got her sister and your cousins, the family is the variety, but I don't think that quite is a great example. But nonetheless, you can have one plant. It kind of is, because it's kind of like a family tree. You can have one plant, or you can have one set of grandparents, and then all their kids and all the kids they kids have is a variety, if you will. So these peppers, I might have, I don't know what type of cayenne pepper I got, to be honest. Maybe it was the sweet red, but then they'll have a fire heat pepper. Like, it just be so many. And again, it's based on the heat scale. It's based on how the plant was germinated. That makes it different. I just think it's really cool that plants got so many different varieties to them. So some 1,700 varieties of capsicum are known. Most derive from Capsicum annuum, the source not only of cayenne but also of bell peppers, pimento, paprika, and chili, to name just a few. A perennial, cayenne is smooth stem with shiny. Perennial means it comes back every year, I believe. Yeah. A perennial annual is like it only gonna grow for that year. A perennial cayenne is smooth stem with shiny, alternate oval to lance-shaped leaves. The familiar seed pods range from inch-long globes to banana-shaped fruits more than a foot long. The delicate star-shaped flowers are milky white. Let me show you. This is what the flower look like. This is what gets pollinated. This is what the pepper ends up growing out of. Growing habits. Cayenne is usually grown... Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, cayenne is usually grown from an annual, reaching 3 feet in height, though in frost-free tropical regions. It is a perennial of 6 feet or more. Capsicum species are believed to have originated in an area of southern Brazil and Bolivia, from which they spread to various parts of South and Central America. In Latin America, centuries before the arrival of Columbus, 5 species had been domesticated. In addition to Capsicum annuum and C, these names, y'all, and C. frutescens, other domesticated species include C. chinense, originating in the Amazon region, not China, C. pubescens, and C. bacatum, the preferred chili in the Andean region from Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia to Chile. All right. Cultivation or harvesting. Peppers are sown from seed indoors 6 to 8 weeks before spring's last frost. In southern states, cayenne can be sown directly in the garden after danger of frost has passed. I was about to say my cayenne pepper blade, I ain't starting indoors. I put that thing right outside. Seedlings should be spaced 8 to 12 inches apart. A rich sandy loam is preferred for pepper culture. Peppers like full sun but will tolerate some shade. Gardeners should remember that the plant's irritating compounds are easily transferred to the hands. When harvesting peppers, keep hands away from the eyes and or wear gloves. China and India have become the largest suppliers of cayenne to world markets. Really? Red peppers in their myriad forms are grown throughout the world. They are the most widely consumed spice in the world, representing about 25% of world spice consumption. All right, let's get into the therapeutic uses. Okay, so arthritis and nerve pain. Despite its bite in spicy cuisines, purified cayenne pepper, yielding the essential compound capsaicin, is an effective topical pain reliever. Y'all keep this in mind now. When somebody arthritis, get the acronym up. Tell them get some capsaicin cream, some cayenne pepper cream. Capsaicin is absorbed through the skin and binds to specific receptors that act to deplete a compound responsible for conveying pain sensations to the brain. One category of conditions that cause pain originates from nerve damage resulting from diabetes or other nervous system problems. For this discomfort, creams containing at least 0.075% capsaicin applied to a painful area over 6 to 8 weeks have been shown to provide relief. In some cases, just one high-dose patch containing 8% capsaicin can be beneficial. A common pattern in the treatment is that the pain gets worse for a few days before it gradually gets better. Benefits are often sustained even after treatment stops. Some studies have shown that preparations with a lower percentage capsaicin, some of which are available over the counter, are less effective either because of the lower dose or because of poorer absorption. These creams are also used by those experiencing the lingering pain of shingles. Let me pause real quick. It says something about give me a second. A common pattern in treatment. Okay. A common pattern in the treatment is that the pain gets worse for a few days before it gradually gets better. I want to pause there real quick because I've seen a post the other day from an herbalist, and she made a very good point. A lot of us want to wait until we are in dire need, we sick or fucked up, down bad, to want to take some herbs and want the healing powers of the herbs to come in. And sometimes it just does not work like that. Because herbs have such a vastness to them and how they work and what chemicals in them react in our body, that sometimes, taking them might actually put you out. Like, especially if you're not using the right dosage, if you're using too much. And again, if you haven't had any type of relationship of what I'm trying to say, of herb usage at all, and then you just take a big bout of herbs so it can heal you, it can sometimes have these jolting effects in your body because your body is just trying to catch up. It's finally getting some goodness in it. So sometimes it's just not going to automatically work. It got to break you down to build you up type deal. So this is why it's important to just incorporate, again, in teas. Waking up, I just boiled some cinnamon sticks with some cloves and some ginger, and then I add a little cayenne pepper on top, and then inside my tea, I got a little tea strainer in here. I have a tea blend that I bought from somebody that contains like mint, chamomile, and something else I can't think of right now, and I just steep that in with some days I don't even do the herbs. I don't have no green in my tea. It just be the cinnamon, the clove, and the ginger, and a little bit of agave. But you just have to incorporate it when you're eating your foods, adding the basil, eating your actual greens, some Swiss chard, some spinach, some kale, some collard, some cabbage, eating plants in general. It'll just help. Cause yeah, that's what I'm learning, and that's why I wanted to get to studying. Some of these plants really, you gotta be mindful of how you take it. You gotta really learn and study it and see the side effects and all of that. So, it's not a one size fits all. You can give general information, kind of like what this book is doing, but then you gotta continue your own studies and research and see how stuff gonna work for you. All right, so that's good to know. So this cream is good for shingles. Osteoarthritis may also benefit from capsaicin creams. Creams containing 0.025% capsaicin have shown to help ease joint pain of adults suffering from osteoarthritis over a 6-week period. One study in which subjects used the 0.75% cream for 4 weeks decreased arthritis pains and tenderness in their hands. That is good to know, because I be crocheting and I don't know how it's going to end up for me, but that's good to know. And I love Cayenne, so this is real good. Okay, so how to use. All right, I'm not going to read that. It talks about the cream. Obviously, you put the cream on. Use gloves to apply the cream. Okay, some precautions. Application of cayenne preparations to the skin can cause a rash as well as burning, stinging, and redness. The rash, often an irritation rather than an allergic reaction, is usually worse on first applications of the preparation and then gets better with repeated use. However, if the rash gets worse with time, treatment should be discontinued and improvement should occur quickly. Do not apply to broken skin because that's going to burn. Oh, that's going to burn. Occasionally, people will develop a cough after using higher strength preparations, presumably from the spicy substance that gets inhaled. I was in there coughing and sneezing this morning myself, trying to grind up that pepper powder. All right, last things, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Over the kitchen counter, cayenne lemonade. Okay, they be trying to get little recipes and uses and stuff. So, at the first sign of stuffiness or a head cold, or if you're simply feeling the chills or aches on a bitter winter day, try this peppery treat. Combine 1 cup of boiling water, the juice of 1 lemon, and 2 to 3 dashes of dried ground cayenne, because you sure don't need a lot. You see how I didn't say teaspoon or tablespoon? Dash is a little pinch, if you will. 2 to 3 dashes of dried ground cayenne. Stir well, sweeten to taste with honey or stevia, and let this zingy drink perk you up. Okay. Cayenne lemonade, huh? That sound like a tea. Talking about boiling water, that sound like a tea. So make a tea with the cayenne. Vaughn, I see you just hopped on. Girl, I came back into my room, did some more little meditating and affirmations. I said, let me grab my book on my bookshelf, get to study and open right up to Cayenne. I said, if that ain't divine, let me come back on here and let the people know. That's pretty much it. Then this is, like I said, the picture of the flower. So this is when you're planting, when you're gardening, things have to flower, and we need pollinators. That's why we need our bees and our butterflies, and we need them to do their thing and hump all the flowers, because if this don't get inseminated, there ain't no pepper coming. So that's what that looks like. Common name cayenne, scientific name Capsicum annuum, family Solanaceae. Parts used, the fruits, and the native range is tropical America. So I hope y'all learned something new. And we already learned what we already knew about Christopher Columbus. He keeps showing up places, don't know what the hell he talking about or what he looking for. So that was really cool. But yeah, y'all, I might actually check in and do one of these once a day, to just so we can all be learning together, because that's one of my intentions in going into the new year, as I continue to elevate and just my own personal growth journey. A lot of people ask me questions sometimes too. They see me cooking a plant and then they come asking me everything about a plant I don't be knowing. So let's study together, damn it. Y'all think I know it all, I don't. And then this ain't the end all be all. There's so much more to know about. Like I said, I got another book somewhere where it be breaking stuff down. It'll give you some facts about the plant, the genus, the family come from, some uses, whether it be, teas, food, topical. I'm like, okay, these plants get for real. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments before I leave. Did y'all enjoy this? Would y'all like for me to come back on and read some more of these, or this don't really interest you much? You could just do a quick Google. How y'all feel? Earth to Grace said thank you. You're welcome, love. Thank you for tuning in. You're very welcome. And thank you everybody that tuned in and hopped on. Yeah, I hope y'all learned something good. All right. Well, y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. I will check in with y'all again soon. Peace and love.